Cracked open the cold one. Welcome to the reality check. November 6th, 2018. Election night. UFC 230 review. Of course, we'll talk about election night. But regardless of what happened throughout the night, now we know there'll be hysteria. Looks like the Republicans will gain about 3 seats, maybe 4 in the Senate. And they will lose a lot in the House, so it probably will be a Democrat House with Nancy Pelosi in charge, or even worse, one of the other commies they'll vote in. But that's common. You know, some people say it's bad. Obviously, it is bad. You want to control everything so you can get stuff done for America. But obviously, we know, as popular as Barack Obama was in his first term, the Senate went 6 seats Republican. They gained 6 seats. And in the House, the Republicans gained 63. So in this election, Republicans still actually have more control of the Senate. And in the House, we'll see how many seats they lose. It's not going to be 63, but maybe about 35 to 40. So the one thing, though, is there were 2 races. There are a bunch of races, you know, where, like, for instance, in Arizona, David Garcia got 40% of the vote. I mean, you have to be a buffoon to vote for that fool. But putting that aside, there were 2 races. I mean, the fact that Kristen Sinema said, let me not get off the target here. There were 2 races in America, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, and I know both of these people are Democrats. I still don't care. There were 2 races where you're not even human if you voted for these people. And they were in New Jersey, my former state, Bob Menendez. How does anybody vote for this guy? I mean, who cares if you like his policies? This guy paid to have sex with underage girls. Oh, I got a visitor in the room here. He paid to have sex with underage girls. Don't tell me he wasn't convicted. The guy who wasn't convicted, it was a hung jury. The guy is a criminal through and through. Everybody knows it. From sex with underage girls to many other crimes, you know, the quid pro quo, pay for play, yada yada. We all know. So for New Jersey to vote that buffoon in again is embarrassing. It's a disgrace. Ruining a state that could be great. And that's why it's the armpit of the tri-state area, because of these poor decisions. And then in the other one, which is even worse and more disgusting, not only do you have somebody who dislikes America and wants Sharia law here, but you have somebody who beat a woman, and women need to be believed, as we heard, Keith Ellison, who is going to be the Attorney General. That's right, Attorney General of Minnesota. Here is a guy who has broken many laws. He is going to be the Attorney General. A guy who hits women, wants Sharia law, anti-American, might as well hangs out with Farrakhan, who's anti-Semite as well, by the way. And Minnesota voted this guy in. That's absolutely absurd. I mean, you can just do whatever you want as long as you have a D by your name, I guess. And this is the difference, unfortunately, why Republicans have a big disadvantage in elections. Because what you have is Democrats just don't think in general. It's, he's got a D by his name, we're just going to vote. And that's it. And I know it happens on the R side too. But I mean, just full-heartedly, attacked women, doesn't like America. Who really cares? I'm going to vote for him because he's my party. Where in Republicans, there's infighting, there's people who don't support each other, there's opinions, there's ideas. You don't really have that on the other side. It's hate, 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 everything's hate. You hate us. You hate us, even though you're not saying anything about them. Hate, 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 hate. And that's all they spew. They don't have any ideas, nothing about how life's going to be better for America, how American, none of that. And that's unfortunately the disadvantage there is one party has ideas and they debate between each other, and one party is a straight, that's it. They say stick together, it's great. I don't know if that's really what you want to call it, but, yeah, that moron Bernie Sanders one again. Pathetic. Anyways, I mean, there's a guy in the public doll. I mean, can you imagine, like, if you were a jackass to everybody you met, and a freeloader who loafed on everybody's couch, and a grub who asked everybody for cigarettes and money, and you hit on your best friend's girlfriend, and then you just went out and said those exact things I just said, and you were talking about somebody else when you're that person. You're describing yourself to a T, and yet you're projecting it on somebody else. That's Bernie Sanders right there. The biggest freeloader who's taken every free matzo ball, bagel, spritz of seltzer water he could get for free. The guy probably goes to the buffet and puts it in his jacket pocket. That's Bernie Sanders. And he got elected again. But I'll digress from that. Now, New York, what a disappointment, of course. Ocasio-Cortez. I mean, even if you're a Democrat and you believe in socialism and that stuff, she's too stupid to even implement it. You ever hear her in an interview? She has no clue. I don't think I'd be prepared for the big stage of politics. And yet, this chick is like at a third grade level compared to me. She has no clue. Just the other day in an interview, they were asking her about, she wants to put everybody on the public dole for health care. Free health care for everybody. Okay, so here's an easy question, softball question for you. How are you going to afford it? Somebody will say, well, this, I'll do that, I'll tax this, I'll tax that. Her answer is, it's going to be cheaper. Well, how so? Well, people get immediate care when they need it, so that's going to make it cheaper. How's that going to pay for it? Well, it'll be cheaper. No, what would happen if everything was free is people would actually go more. And you see that, especially in a state like Arizona, when there were no controls, you would see people who just wanted something to eat or had sniffles. They'd be in the emergency room in the hospital. And you're like, I couldn't afford to do that. But they can because they're not paying the bill. You're paying the bill because it was free to them. And that's how, hey, my kid's thirsty. He needs a box of apple juice. Let's go to the emergency room. Oh, he's dehydrated. Here's some apple juice. Here's some milk. Here's this. Here's that. What can we do for you, ma'am? What can we do for you, sir? Oh, you have 6 kids and you don't take care of them? Great. Let's get you some medical care. That's what it was. But let me tell you, when you're on the other side of that, people paying for it, you walk into that and somebody's head split open that and you're just trying to make sure they get in safely and don't bleed to death and get taken care of. Oh, wait, where are you going? We need payment. We need payment now. Give me your credit card. Give me your money. Give me your firstborn. Give me anything. $50, $2 million. Give it to me. Give it to me. That's the difference in treatment there. So if you opened it up to free, it would be abused a lot more. Most people with a high school education know that. But here you have somebody who just got elected that can't figure that out. But okay. So, local races. I'm sure that's what Arizonans want. Now, we have Martha McSally still in the lead, very slim. It's crazy that the Green Party, Angela Green, actually, her 2.25% is actually, if it was factored out between, Kyrsten Sinema or McSally, can make either one the winner. But it's just amazing that Kyrsten Sinema got so many votes in Arizona. Like, why would you vote for somebody, regardless of her politics? Like, she constantly bashes Arizona and insults it. I mean, I guess because we have Jeff Flake, whose seat they're fighting for, So that's not much of a difference. So I guess I get that part. But I mean, in general, as an Arizona with any pride, you shouldn't be voting for her. Now, plus you have somebody like, Martha McSally, who's, at least a hero, done things, accomplished things, and knows the intricacies of Arizona and the Air Force bases where Kyrsten Sinema wanted to shut down Luke Air Force Base. So I don't understand how anybody in the military, anybody who's Border Patrol, anybody who works at an Air Force base or has anything to do with that would vote for this lady, Kyrsten Sinema. I mean, you have to be an absolute moron. And yet you see it. I mean, it's the equivalent of the Jews walking themselves into the gas chamber. No, we're not going to fight. We'll just walk it in and we'll hold this Bible, and that's going to help us out. You see how good that did. Now, you have to stand up and fight, and you have to know this is not acceptable. I can't believe that many people voted for Kyrsten Sinema. Her only endearing quality used to be that she would always be up for a debate with you. But for the last 2+ months of her campaign, all she's done is hide. She doesn't even go on any show that would question her about anything important. She had no debate because she knew she would be exposed as to what she was. A radical left-wing nut. And yet still, people are voting for her. I don't even understand why. No common sense in the matter. Wendy Rogers is losing right now, but a third of the precinct's there. That's pretty sad too. Another hero could lose. Ann Kirkpatrick won. No big deal. Here's another one. Arizona disgrace. Ray Grijalva wins again. I mean, why would anybody vote for this buffoon? He insults Arizona. He tells you not to shop here. He's, not even a decent human being. Half the time he's mumbling, you can't understand him. He dresses like a slob. Whatever, don't tell me you don't attack him personally. Sorry, you're representing Arizona. That's your job. Wear some decent clothes for once. Seriously. I understand if you're picking through storage units like me, or you're wearing your shirt or whatever. This dude, District 3, right? Can't even dress nice. Paul Gosar wins pretty handily. That's good. Andy Biggs, he wins pretty handily. That's good. David Schweikert, sorry, my opinion, that's good. David Schweikert wins again, so that's good. You have strong Republicans. And then here's another buffoon. And I'm sorry, the buffoons happen to be Democrats. Yes, in this case, Ruben Gallego. Here's a piece of trash who doesn't stand up. Okay, when you're elected, you can stand up for Democrat values, but this is a guy who's against the law. He is not for the law in any sense of the imagination. He is against the law. He is for criminals. Multiple people have been shot or killed by illegals in the state, and he doesn't care less. If that's your son or daughter, he spit in your face, and yet people are voting for this fool. Looks like Debbie Lesko could win. And then District 9. Are you kidding me? Put Steve Ferrer aside and his qualifications. He's a decent man. Whatever. Let's put that aside. Greg Stanton. How does anyone vote for this buffoon? Former mayor of Phoenix. Here's a guy who couldn't make money on state-owned golf course and hotel in the middle of Phoenix. This guy lied to every police officer when he was in charge. They put a tax on grocery, and every citizen, as a matter of fact, they put tax on grocery, and it was supposed to be to hire more cops. They didn't hire cops. Cops even took pay cuts. They still didn't hire more cops. They let the police force in Phoenix dwindle down to dangerous levels as it is today. You have veterans, it's their time to retire, and you're not even bringing in one person, much less two, to counteract the years of experience you lost. Nope, letting it go down the drain. And here it is, Greg Stanton going to win an election? It's buffoonery. It's just pure buffoonery. Doug Ducey wins the governor. David Garcia almost got 40% of the votes. It's just embarrassing. If you didn't like Ducey, vote for Angel Torres. You know, the fact that anybody voted for David Garcia, it's embarrassing. I mean, I know most that's the Red Fred movement, but it's embarrassing. I don't know what else we have. Most of these are too early. Attorney General Mark Brenovich, 53%. Hopefully he should hang on and win that. I mean, January Contreras, please. Friend of Janet Napolitano. She did nothing. Nothing. She's for, yeah. Here's somebody who sat there and watched people at the VA get abused, die in waiting times, and all she did was cover up for her friend Janet Napolitano. It's an embarrassment that she's even on the ballot. Sorry. Steve Gaynor and Katie Hobbs. That's for Secretary of State. Very close race. Gaynor slightly in the lead. The ballot measures here in Arizona, and obviously still a lot more time to go, but so far Prop 125, which was allow state pension change, 52% say yay, 47% say no, so that one's still up in the air. 126, ban on new taxes on services, that one's done. It's, yeah, we're going to ban no new taxes on services, which is good. Increase in renewable energy, Prop 127, we knew that was a loser. Steyer from California was pumping money into that, and he got whipped badly. 69.67% right now have said, no way, we don't want energy increases. We don't want to force only certain companies to have a certain amount of green energies. Not all, it was certain companies. So it's just trash, we know it, and it got kicked out. Expand the scholarship funds, 305, that one went down. Not surprising. There needed to be more accountability. It was a poorly written bill. 306 is restrict election fund use. That one looks like it's going to be a yes. It's at 55%, so that's that part. You know, many races, many important races have been called. Let's see what else we got. We have the House is still, you know, right now the Democrats are leading by a few seats. You know, it looks pretty even. And then there's about 24 left. The problem is most of that's California. So we'll see how it goes. It ain't over, but it doesn't look too positive. But hey, you know what? If they can close that district and keep it within 1 or 2, not too bad. Not too bad. So that's elections. We can get back to that later. You know, it's crazy. Ted Cruz won. That was good. You know, he beat Beto O'Rourke, the new Obama, please. That's funny. So we know that Obama and good old Oprah Winfrey were on the Stacey Adams bandwagon. There's been accusations. They hacked Brian Kemp, who's the Republican running. And right now, Kemp is actually in the lead by a good 8 points, which is pretty good. So not 80% of the precincts in. So maybe Kemp hangs on, and that would be a major blow to Obama and Oprah Winfrey with all the star power they had there. And to lose that was a big one. Florida, Ron DeSantis inks out a win over Gillum. That's good. That's a positive gain. You know, those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. In Ohio, there was Mike DeWine, governor. He won that race. That was pretty contested. Richard, Cordray, former Obama buddy. He worked on Obama staff. Another loss. You know, these people that Obama endorsed, they seem like they actually lost more than just the regular people that didn't have an endorsement. So Obama's got that magic stick, and it's just in the reverse way. Like I said, we can come back to the elections, because that'll be all night. So let's see what else we have here. Big week Thursday night. As you guys see my shirt, it's from the Phoenix Rising playoff game, and they are going for their first championship Thursday night. So good luck. Hopefully they win that. It's on the road. And there was a viewing party actually at the stadium, which is down the block from here. So that'll be interesting. They've had a good showing. They've had a real good showing, and this is definitely going to help. It's definitely going to help with their chance of becoming an MLS team. And that's what I like. I think that would be great, just to see MLS players come in to have a team, an MLS team. That'd be awesome for the local area, for Arizona. Soccer's big out here. That would help it even get bigger. That'd be nice. So, let's see what else here. Mass confusion at polls after voting machines failed to display candidates' party affiliations. How about that headline? How about this? Man votes absolving self of responsibilities to love thy neighbors for the next 2 years. Trump's refusal to limit caravan into country is an act of voter suppression. The Dems would like to believe that. Votes without social media proof may not count. Those are just some humorous headlines that I read today. What's got us buzzing? Let's see here. So, we're a few weeks away from Thanksgiving. Interesting time of the year, shopping starts to pick up, and it's that holiday season we're getting into. The weather's cooling. Even here in Arizona, the weather's cooling. And like we said, tonight's another big day. Hopefully everyone had some good Halloween candy last week. See those Lime scooters. They recalled thousands of scooters after some caught on fire. And then I read locally here in Arizona that one of the scooters caught on fire. I think those things are trash. They're ugly. They're in the way. They're dangerous for people. You have people that don't even know how to drive them, driving everywhere. I mean, yeah. Should be gone from the town. Hopefully soon. You want a scooter? Buy your own. You're going to be by a certain area? Okay, rent them out. Get them from a store. But return them to the store. Leave them all over the street. It's not what we want. So here's for wishing this would happen right here. Here's your reality check for the day. Imagine this. A migrant caravan full of leftists desiring to enter the socialist paradise of Venezuela depart the United States and begin marching through Mexico, stating they will demand asylum, so they might experience the far better life that socialism offers. The migrants claim they're leaving America because of its high standards of living, strong economy, record employment numbers, and hope to find a better life in Venezuela's much more equitable system. Everyone there has the same quality of possessions and food, said one marcher. Everyone makes millions of dollars, and very few people work. It's a real paradise. The refugees have complex motivations, but the vast majority simply want to see everything socialism has to offer. After suffering the amazing benefits of capitalism for far too long, caravan organizers dispelled rumors that they were funded by Bernie Sanders, claiming the caravan was an organic, grassroots movement. At its current pace, the caravan is expected to arrive just in time for Venezuela to run out of food entirely. Now, that is what we can only hope for. That is what we can only hope for, I gotta tell you. But the hope won't be real. Because unfortunately, they like to complain. But yet, they never leave. So, looks like in the House, as of right now, you have Dems up with 3 seats. They have 53 leaning their way, 41 leading the Republicans' way, and then 10 still to be determined. So that would give them, the Democrats, a majority by between 12 and 2 seats. But Republicans still have somewhat of a chance, but not much. I don't know. Looks like, just depends on the leaning ones, you know, you never know. But it is what it is. I don't know. Trump did a lot of work. I mean, the guy's tireless. I mean, he works all the time. You got to give him credit. You might not like him, but man, is he a hard worker. So, Fox News, right? Sean Hannity went up on the stage at a Trump rally, you know, just stupid. It's just plain stupid. I don't care if Trump called you up. You're supposed to not be part of that. You're a news reporting agency. It's just plain dumb. Just the way the media is with Democrats, they fawn all over it. You gotta keep some credibility. You can like him, you can have opinions equal to him, but you just gotta have some separation. And even Fox News said they weren't happy with it. But yeah, I just want to get that. It's just not a good idea, not smart. So some of the stories around voting, non-citizens voting in Texas, emitting it on video. You know, me, oh my, I want to talk about me. Obama the other day talked about himself 89 times during the campaign stop. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, I was telling my neighbor this, like Obama talking about the great economy now and saying it's because of him, even though he said at the time, this is all we're going to have and this is the best it's going to get and no way we can do better and what's Trump going to do, wave the magic stick. And now because it's good, it somehow had to do with him. But I was saying, like, and this is a football reference here, like Obama saying that he has to do with the economy now is kind of like Chip Kelly saying he's the reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I guess you suck so bad, so they got more talent. So now they won, so it's because of you. I mean, okay, you can't say Buck Showalter because at least he brought teams to a certain point. He made them better while he was there. When they started, they sucked. When Buck Showalter left, like the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, they were a better team than when he got there. And then the next manager came in and took them over the top. Okay, you could see Buck Showalter made progress, but like Chip Kelly, Barack Obama, no, they just went backwards. Sorry. Just because someone won after you doesn't mean you could take credit. Man, you know, sorry. Jim Comey standing around the Democratic field office. Going canvassing on election day. Well, that's funny because the Democrats said he sabotaged their elections, yet he's campaigning for them. But I guess he's got a lot of free time on his hands. Hopefully the next time we see him canvassing around, it's a jail cell. But you know. San Francisco, here's a good one. They paid more than $385,000 on this register to vote. And they wanted non-citizens to vote. And they were, at first it was just non-citizens to vote. Then they made the excuse, well, we're not saying they're going to vote in the federal elections. It's school board races and other yada yada, just making an excuse because they pretty much got caught registering illegals to vote. But the city spent $385,000 and they got 61 voters to vote in school board elections. Now, that's over $6,000. The town of San Francisco, which has shit all over, and I do mean it, and you could check it up on the map, there's shit all over, hypodermic needles all over. They spent $6,300 per person to vote in school board elections. It doesn't include the election costs and that stuff. That's just what they paid to have somebody the right to vote. It doesn't even mean they voted, to be honest. It's just embarrassing beyond belief. Disgusting abuse of taxpayer money. Unbelievable. So Chicago's done this, Cambridge, Massachusetts done this. There are several cities in Maryland that also allowed non-citizens to vote in school board or municipal elections. Unbelievable. $6,300. How many homeless people can that feed? How much money could that be in schools that could be to use? How much? You know? And here it is. Forget about it. We wasted it on this. Great job, San Fran. So that's weird. I was hearing this in New Jersey, or from New Jersey people today. Somebody was saying that Bob Eugen, who was running against Menendez, you know, the guy who paid to have sex with underage girls. Now, he put a bunch of his own money into the campaign, and that's a red flag for them. So, I think the reason why that's a red flag is because if you put your own money in the campaign, it means you might not be a crook. And in New Jersey, there's a lot of great things, but the one thing that isn't great is the political corruption. And you saw it when I was young and they went in the temples and they had their little scam. It's like, you know, the old shell game, and you're not winning no matter what. Pretty sad to this day. So, let's go to the good old UFC, right? UFC 230 will break from the politics for a little bit. UFC 230. It was in Madison Square Garden. Speaking of the East Coast, Madison Square Garden, one of the historic venues in sports and entertainment. Sadly, he has to put up with the Knicks and Rangers right now because of poor ownership. Watch me shoo away him off. But poor ownership, of course, has made that not the entertainment mecca, sadly. But a big event, UFC this past weekend, number 230. The first opening match of the big card, you know, I had Derek Brunson winning, right, by unanimous decision over Israel Adesanya. And then it went like this. You know, Brunson had a few short punches, then he tried to take down Israel. He was denied. They're kind of feeling each other out by near the end of the first round. Israel landed a knee, then more knees, kicks, and he dropped Brunson with the right hand. So Israel got a first round TKO. So I showed that this dude is for real, and he should get a top 5 opponent. And for Derek Brunson, it's just kind of the gatekeeper status still. A chance to move on up the road. He didn't prevail. So I got that one wrong. And like I said, for Israel, should be a top 5 opponent. A good win for him because he totally dominated Brunson, who's, you know, still a quality opponent. In the next fight, I had Carl Robertson, a second round TKO over Jack Marshman. Now, it was pretty much the way I saw the fight. Robertson dominated from start to finish. You know, but I'll give Marshman credit. He showed he had a great chin. He took a lot of shots. Came down to a unanimous decision for Robertson. It was, or I should say Robertson. Robertson, it's just like a bad habit. But he won 30-26, 30-27, 30-26. A unanimous decision, not close. You know, Now, the next fight was Branch versus Cannonier. And I had Branch winning by unanimous decision, I thought, because of his experience. Cannonier kind of tires out near the end. He has lots of power, but Cannonier's power was just too much, when he was taken down, he got up, he stuffed takedowns, and then, big right hand, which put Branch down, and then Cannonier finished the job. So a good win for him over a quality opponent, and I guess David Branch is kind of gatekeeper status as well. We'll see if Cannonier can make that next step, because he's had times where he's beaten someone and you think he's ready to go for a top opponent, and then he gets a setback. So we'll see. The next fight, which was the co-main event, that was Jacare Souza versus Chris Weeman, former champ Chris Weeman. I had a call, or me personally, my thoughts on it were Jacare, third-round submission. I thought each one would have their moments, and I thought that Jacare would eventually hurt him and get him in the submission. That's the way Jacare does. He'll wound you, and then he goes for the sub. Weeman landed a few good combos early. He looked really sharp. He stunned Jacare. And then Weeman just kind of didn't follow up, which has been his kind of thing like the past few years. He just doesn't finish anymore. He used to be a pretty decent finisher when he was younger. He went in for the kill, like when he caught Silva, stuff like that. That's why at that time when he was undefeated. But, later on, both guys traded big shots. They had their moments. In the third, they're both working hard. Jacare wobbled Weeman with a left, and they followed with the right, and he put Weeman down. And Jacare actually just pretty much was like motioned for it to be stopped. It wasn't stopped, so he threw two more big bombs while Weeman was down, and that stopped the fight, and that was it. So for Jacare, it's a good win, and that should move him into maybe a title shot, or at least a contender fight. I mean, he's right up there. I don't know anybody else who's really more qualified for him. There are other people that are qualified, but Jacare has a good resume, and I don't think Weeman was a top guy because he's lost a lot recently, but I mean, Jacare handled him. He did what he needed to do, so definitely Jacare should have a top opponent, if not a title fight. And in the main event, we had Daniel Cormier versus Lewis. I had a fourth round TKO for Cormier. That's what I thought before the fight. And it was just what you thought it was. It was almost like Anthony Johnson again. Cormier took Lewis down, took him down at will. Lewis swung for the fences. He got up. He was game for a little bit, but in the second round, he got him down, and he locked in a real naked choke, and that was the end of the fight. Cormier wins again, still has 2 belts. I'm sure they're going to strip him of his 1 belt when John Jones and Gustafsson fight. And then really from there, it's up to Cormier what he's going to do. I'm sure the fight with Brock Lesnar is probably going to be on as long as Lesnar doesn't fail any drug tests. So, I mean, there's like a 3-tree branch of possibilities there for Cormier. He said he's going to retire in April when he turns 40. I mean, you have obviously the winner of the Gustafsson-Jones fight, because Jones has beat him twice, even though once was overturned because Jones was on drugs. But, that's the only guy to beat Cormier. So that would be a huge fight for him. If Gustafsson were to beat Jones, Gustafsson had a tough fight with Jones before, barely lost, and he had a tough fight with Cormier. He put up one of the better fights against Cormier besides Jones. So that would be an interesting fight. You have Stipe Miocic, who was the heavyweight champ, the most consecutive wins, defending that title. Now, he obviously would be in line for a rematch in normal circumstances. And then, of course, you have the introduction of Brock Lesnar, the big money, the big ticket fight. That creates buzz and excitement. So 3 ways from to go. If somebody falls out, he's still got quality fights. This last one will be, pretty fun and interesting. They should go out with a bang like that. So that was UFC 230 from, like I said, Madison Square Garden once. You know, it's still a great place, but sadly, with the Knicks and Rangers standing at per, you know, it's, you know, it is what it is. Now remember, the next card is December 8th in Canada, and it features some very interesting fights. Definitely a much better card. On that main card, you have Jimmy Manuwa, who's always fun to watch, against Thiago Santos. That's good fun. You know, I'm not going to give any predictions now. We'll save that for the show before then. But, yeah, Claudia Gadelha against Nina Asara. That should be interesting. Renato Moicano, very interesting fighter, undefeated, against Mirsad Bektik, who's, you know, himself pretty impressive. You have a co-main event, which is a women's flyweight championship versus Joanna Jevchenko, who's the former champion of the featherweight class, against Valentina Shevchenko, who was very close to a title a few times. She had some close fights and lost, and now she's moved down, so ought to be an interesting fight. And then, of course, you have the main event, which is Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega undefeated. Max Holloway was the champ, got hurt, so he never really lost his belt in that sense. And Ortega, obviously, has just been on a tear. He is fun to watch. Holloway is fun to watch in his own regard. Ought to be a very interesting fight. So good card. Hopefully, like, nobody gets hurt. Hopefully, everybody makes weight. We always have to, you know, hope that happens here. And that's what it is for that. So back to reality, right? Back to reality. You have the House so far as it sits. Now I should be playing the TV on the side and get an update there, but whatever. Democrats are up by about 9 seats. Looks like 44 are leaning their way, 35 are leaning the way of Republicans, and 9 are still toss-ups. So that would kind of give anywhere from 204 to probably about 210 for the Republicans. And that's probably about 225 around for the Democrats, give or take. And then you have for the Senate, it's at 51, but there's going to be a few more pickups. Florida's leaning Republican way, Arizona's leading that way. You know, and then Nevada, I'm sure will go to the yeah, Nevada's usually a Democrat state. A lot of union, SEIU, and whatnot. Martha McSally's lead in Arizona is very slim. Let me say that. Yeah, California. I mean, I can't believe they couldn't even pick. They had 2 Democrats running. You had Feinstein and Kevin DeLeon. And they picked Feinstein. I mean, just, can you at least get the Democrat right? I mean, it's embarrassing. Because she's such a criminal. I mean, just a criminal. Just an absolute criminal. What else can I say about that? Criminal? Yeah, I think I said that. Criminal. So is there any other news on the horizon today? You know, let's see. I don't know. I mean, we heard about the Farrakhan stuff, how he was chanting death to America. You know, nobody seemed to care. That story. Gay conservative heckled Obama, got beaten up by liberals, not in the news. Yeah, this is a good one. So this week, CNN was interviewing a random undecided voter at the Gillum rally. Turned out to be Gillum's mom. Pretty sad. So there was the Blexit. Everyone knows about that. Bunch of black, people who support Donald Trump were at the White House, big summit. They want to make America great again. And one of the model, she got released from her contract because she attended that. Pretty sad. And they said because she was part of a hate group, so it wasn't any confusion. So if you support Republicans, you're part of a hate group, I guess. Let's see, the Democrats hung the GOP party in effigy. What else is there? San Francisco had an anarchist book fair in which leftists encouraged children to bomb police cars with Molotov cocktails. And if you don't believe that, you can actually look up and find the picture, and it's like wood stands, and it's a big cardboard picture, and it has a police car, and then it has little ribbons on it where you would put the Molotov cocktails to. So it's pin the Molotov cocktail on the police car, pretty much. This is what you get from the place that spent over $6,000. What else can you expect? So Al Sharpton was mad at the Brexit, said it was staged. Nothing that black people do can be believed if Al Sharpton doesn't get paid. Because it's all about Al Sharpton getting paid. And don't you forget it. If good old Al isn't getting paid, then it ain't anything real. So it's going to be a crazy day tomorrow. I mean, you'll have, it looks like I said, the Democrats are going to maybe get 34 seats. It's going to be Nancy Pelosi. Wow. Could she be Speaker of the House again? And if not, is it going to be another buffoon even worse? I mean, do they dare put up Elizabeth? I mean, yeah. Let me rephrase that. Elizabeth Warren won another election. That's just embarrassing. It's weird, though. You see the biggest Democrat, the winners, the heroes, all got whipped today. Beto O'Rourke, Obama's boy, done. Gillum, done. Right? Looks like Abrams in Georgia. Nope. Florida to restore ex-felon voting rights. Now, it's a complicated thing. A lot of states actually have that now where felons can vote. Now, there's mixed stuff, and I know people aren't going to agree with a lot of what I say on it, but to me, if whatever crime you did, unless it was election fraud, then you can't vote anymore. But let's say you committed a crime, you got 20 years in jail, whatnot. When you get out of jail, if you're clean for 2 years, you're not getting in trouble for something else, then you should be able to vote freely. I mean, to me, you did your crime, you did your time. Now you've shown society that you've gotten out 2 years, you've been clean. You should absolutely have a right to vote. I mean, I don't know what the argument would be. They did it, they did it. Taylor Swift, right? She endorsed Phil Burdezza. And nope, it didn't work. Sorry, Taylor. It's funny, you see how the ratings, I've always thought, are a fraud. They're kind of like polling. You know anybody who's been polled? You know anybody they actually know what they watch on TV? With all the technology now, you figure it'd be more accurate. But you always have these people that this show's popular, this show's popular, and you realize that once the fake ratings are gone, they can't stand on their own. Like Taylor Swift, so beloved, she's so popular, everybody listens to her, and she endorsed someone in an election and it did nothing. And you know, that is what it is, politics, entertainment, okay, difference, although not so much, you know. But you see like Oprah Winfrey. Great example. Her show was so popular, so watched, this and that. Oh my God, the ratings. It's part of everybody's life. It's part of TV shows. They talk about it all the time. Oprah, Oprah, Oprah. And then she took her show and put it on cable, and nobody cared less. You see the difference between the fake ratings and then when you get real ratings. If she had that much love and that much fan base, they would follow her. But she didn't. And when it came to the real time where people, do you want to pay $1 to see Oprah? Why? Or no? That's what you see. A lot of these people are figments of the media's imagination. They make them out to be so popular when they're not so much. And when it comes time to come up big, it doesn't happen. And you see Oprah, Obama, they're so popular, everybody loves them. They did nothing. They were non-existent. Now, interesting. Blasey Ford, right? Didn't know how to collect the GoFundMe money. Over $1 million, she's still making money, and yet she says she needs that money for safety and security and for expenses. Okay. Sure. Now, Brett Kavanaugh, he had a GoFundMe campaign. Somebody started for him. $600,000 raised. And he could take the money if he wanted to. But he decided no. And it's being donated to charity. And he actually lost money, where Blasey Ford gained money from this debacle. Kavanaugh actually lost money. He lost the teaching gig. You know, he lost money. And yet, he didn't want any of this money. But Blasey Ford, who was a victim, wanted the money. And of course, you've all heard about the report that came out. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, but yeah, found out that those people are making up their story. So, you know, not very honest. Not very honest. But unfortunately, that's the party today that we have. And yet somehow people still voted for them. Very, very crazy. And let's see. So let's check one last time before we go. So it's what, 10:28 at night here in Arizona. And Republicans gaining 3 seats in the Senate. That's what they have here. Some not done yet. And for the House, let's see, do we have better numbers? Doot, 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 doot. So in the House, we have 210 for Democrats, it says. Right now, you need 218 to have control of the House. And Republicans have they have 189, which to start off, they had 240. So far, it looks like the Democrats gained 23 seats. And there's still, a bunch more left. But we'll see how it goes. Still a bunch of toss-ups in there, but so, like they say, it looks like Democrats will have control of the House. Should be a slim margin though, but obviously good enough for them, and considering they started the night down 45 seats. So it's a big turnaround. And we'll give one last check to our Arizona races. Let's see what we got here. So, we got in the Senate, Martha McSally still on a slow lead. Looks like La Paz County is the only one that they don't have numbers in for. Looks like everywhere else is pretty much got. Pima County, still more numbers coming in from there. Which that's not good because Pima County is heavily Kyrsten Sinema, and La Paz County should be for McSally, but just interesting numbers you see. So, let's see here. In Maricopa County, which is crazy, Kyrsten Sinema has a lead right now, but there's not a lot more of Maricopa County, which is the county that I live in. There's a lot more to come from there as far as the vote count. They have a high percentage in there. Tom O'Halloran's still leading. Wendy Rogers, of course, like I said. Kirkpatrick, Grijalva, Gosar, Biggs, Schweikert, Gallego, all won. Debbie Lesko's still winning. Greg Stanton has been officially declared the winner. It's ridiculous. I mean, do some people not want more? I mean, I don't understand how you'd want that abuse. Doug Ducey, of course, won the governor. Thank goodness. Right now, majority of in the state Senate 16. The Republicans have 15, so it's 30 seats. Republicans have 15. They need one more to gain control. The two that are left are leaning their way, but still not called. State House for Arizona, there's 60 seats up. You obviously need 31 for majority. Republicans have 24 right now. The Dems have 24. There's still 12 left. Looks like the majority of those are going Republican, so the State House should still be Republican. Attorney General Mark Brnovich declared the winner with 53.22%. That's good news. Secretary of State Steve Gaynor, 51.22%, declared the winner. So that's another good win. 125, like I said, the pension change, allow it. That's a yes. Ban on new taxes. That's a yes. Increase renewable energy. That's a no. 305, expand scholarship. That's a no. And 306, restrict election fund use. That one became a yes. So we got those in there. Doesn't look like there'll be much surprises there. Let's see, what else do we have here? Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Sorry, but I am just checking out. I know there's some other things. Let's see. See what else I can find here. Let's do some quick searching. Nope, nothing else in the small city questions. Yeah, there should be some results. Let's see here. Look at me. Look at me, huh? I know how to type somewhat. Not really. Yeah, they always gotta wait almost till the next day to find out. Like we have just the little bonds and stuff. Questions about that, about building a new soccer facility, more taxing on the hotels and whatnot. Let's see. So, I guess we do not have any results on those. What a shame. But, it is what it is. So I guess we'll find out next week. We'll have a recap of all this, see what damage is done, what damage isn't done. But, I mean, so end of the day, somewhat of what was expected. The president in his second year usually loses pretty decently. Like we said, Obama lost 6 seats in the Senate and 63 seats in the House. So, looks like Trump will lose a bunch of seats in the House, not 63, but a lot. But he did gain seats in the Senate. So, unfortunately, though, now you have one fraction of 3 is Democrat, which is going to be the House, so that's going to make things tougher in a way. And even less will get done. So sadly, the American people are the butt of our own jokes again. That pretty much wraps up that election. So, have a safe week, and I will see you next week on the Reality Check.